Welcome to Cub Scout Breakout, and I suppose I should make my announcement again since it's recording now. Journey to Excellence rules will be changed this year to reflect the circumstances of the COVID-19 pandemic and social isolation, all that, because a lot of the targets you just can't hit when you can't have meetings and can't go camping. All right. I also need to apologize. Roundtable is running about 15 minutes long. We've got a lot of questions about camp, but we did shorten up some of the other segments to try and get you home or back to your families on time. Right, our topic for tonight is planning this Cub Scout year. I have a handout which I will send out to everybody in Wabash Valley mailing list tomorrow, and I will get that to Brian to get to everyone else, so don't worry about taking extensive notes. Unless you're compulsive type A like I am, in which case, go ahead and indulge. And you feel free to unmute your mics and chime in anytime you got something, because we're a much smaller group here. So basically, when you're planning your year, you got a couple of goals. You want to bring in new scouts and have them and your returning scouts advance and have fun in the program and keep going. The basic method is to make sure they keep having fun, because if they're not having fun, they're not going to come back. If their parents are not having fun, they're not going to come back and they're not going to help either. So you want to plan out a whole year, get yourself a big calendar, a bunch of post-it notes, or however you want to do it. Come up with a list of all the stuff you got to plan around or plan to include. That'll be your council and districts events, and there's a bunch of them on the handout, which you'll get tomorrow. Popcorn training, fall recruitment, all the popcorn dates, other events, welcome to Fall into Scouting, Cub Haunted Weekend, University of Scouting, Scout Sunday, District Pinewood Derbies. It's all on there for you. And when they're broken out by district, we say which those are. So you put those on the calendar, at least the ones you want to attend. You're not obligated to do everything the council offers. So we recommend you take them on all the camping trips you can. Then you look at your calendar, you lay out your pack meetings, especially your blue and gold, because that's kind of a target to everybody done with advancement. And you wiggle those around, they're going to work. Make sure you can work with your charter organization, get the rooms. Back when I was running a Cub Scout pack, we met on Wednesdays, and one week the church called me and said, hey, you know that meeting you planned to have next Wednesday? We realized that's Ash Wednesday. We're going to need the room. I'm like, you just realized this? Aren't you at church? But, make sure there's nothing conflicting, especially for big things like the blue and gold, the Pinewood Derby. Get your rooms reserved now. And I would recommend you schedule your committee meetings. Everybody meets their committee once a month, right? Well, no, yeah, good. Schedule your committee meetings for a week or two before your big meetings so you can have all the details ready. Once you have all those down, send this list to your den leaders so they can schedule around the pack meetings. And their scouts can be ready for them. We always had, each den had a part in the meeting. Someone will do the opening, some would do a song, some would do a skit, some would do the closing. So you need to know who needs to be ready for what and when. Typical pack meeting topics you'll have. A recruiting meeting. We'll cover recruiting in more detail in June, but this is for all the new families. Well, recruiting, not quite. This is to get everybody involved, tell them what Scouts is about. You have an introductory meeting / sign-up night / parent orientation, not necessarily the same one. The first one you get interested, the second one you bring them in and do all the paperwork. So if you tell them all about it, do the paperwork in one night, it's a really long night and that puts people off. I also encourage you to have an end of the summer welcome back picnic for or something like that for your returning families, separate from the new families, because the new families don't want to sit through all the paperwork. But that gives everybody something. Your new families come in on day X, your returning families come in on day Y. Everybody gets their schedules for the year and what's going on. So after that, you want to have a popcorn kickoff night. Once you figure out when you want to start popcorn for your unit, you have some normal pack meetings. You do normal stuff. You have when you have popcorn prizes, one for your Pinewood Derby, one for your blue and gold banquet. Plan some fun events in there. Put some service projects on the schedule. And plan to have your Friends of Scouting presentation sometime. At the end of the year, we recommend a den graduation. At this point, your second year Webelos have gone on to the Scouts. You bring your first year Webelos up, you make them second year Webelos. You bring your Bears up, you make them first year Webelos. You bring your Wolves up. And we had a thing with this where we'd bring up with their flags. They'd leave their flag and cross the bridge and take the next den level flag, and then bring the next den level up. When you finally cross the last den over, you hold up the first year kid's flag and say, who wants to be a Cub Scout next year? And all the kids come out of the audience and want to sign up for next year and puts their parents on the spot. It's great fun. That's the short and sweet version because we're trying to save time here. Anybody have any questions? Comments? Okay. Did I stun you all? Have you all done this for many years? What?
This is the audience participation part of Roundtable.
Yeah.
I follow Lauren.
Yeah. Normally, when I do this in a live roundtable, we spend half an hour and I stop every couple minutes and ask for suggestions for all the other people who have done it before. So, comments, anything. Was this helpful to you people who haven't done this before?
I liked the Den graduation ceremony. That was something that I didn't do when I was a Cub Master, and that would have been a nice touch.
Okay, thank you. I still have scripts for most of these things. If anybody wants them, write me. That's jeff@rattrade.org. Yeah, it's cute. My wife got me a domain name for Valentine's Day many years ago. We're very nerdy. Thank you. Yes, that's how it happened.
That is adorable.
Yes, thank you.
We did something like that last year, but I like your ideas for doing it better.
Okay.
I think to some degree, like I'm still just trying to figure out like how to piece together the rest of the year that I have, and I mean I can't plan for anything at this point, just not knowing kind of what the fall looks like. So it's just thinking through like things that might happen, the things that could happen, the things that will happen. And
Make sure the fun things happen. Some of the, you're gonna have to pick what you want to do, what you don't want to do. Put as much fun stuff in there. Leave out some of the not so much fun for the kids stuff. Dang it! I had another thought, and it escaped me. But,
so we've done it enough
yeah,
years that we generally like we have a certain cadence that we follow of like we know that okay, October we do this pack meeting, December we do this pack meeting. There's a couple of them that we change year by year, but generally we kind of have an idea of what tended to work well, and we just kind of slot those into the same slots next year.
Fine. Having a yearly routine is fine. It's as long as the kids aren't even going to notice you've got a yearly routine because they don't think that far ahead or that far back. I do remember the other thing I wanted to say. Don't forget you can complete advancement over the summer until, what is it, July 30th, Ben? Cub Scout advancement?
I think that's
I'm not
right.
sure, Ben.
I think that's right. I'm not sure that, quite honestly, I'm not sure we'd ever turn it away, right? At some point, a wolf is going to become a bear, but if you turn in an advancement form for 7 adventure loops, we're going to sell them to you and you're going to award them. So don't get caught up on that.
Worst case, you can backdate it in Scout book.
Yeah.
So make sure they all get their rank if at all you can. Let them find some ways to work on that. But lots of fun. I mean, being Cub Master was a lot of fun, actually. The kids really appreciate the parents do too. When you're a few years older, they get kind of cynical, and if you're not dazzling them, or they don't necessarily want all the things you plan. They want to go plan their own stuff. But it was a fun job. I really enjoyed it.
Are there any Cub adventures that packs are nervous about trying to figure out how to get done?
I have one with my son right now. He's got to do a 4-mile hike for Weeblos. Or a 3-mile hike, I'm sorry. And we're trying to get him into where he can get that done as soon as possible without being out in the public. But part of the requirement is he has to be with the pack or a troop or something that to plan for part of that, either as a first aid or.
They've changed a lot of those requirements, Aaron. BSA has a list of variances up now. Take a look at that. A lot of these things they don't have to meet for, that they normally.
It can be a virtual hike.
I think they still got to do the hike, but the planning doesn't have to get. And
Right.
remember, the stuff they have up overrides what's in the book just for this year till they call it off. But do take a look.
Right. We've been bending a lot of lines, making a lot of decisions that would help the kids advance. That that we don't want anybody falling behind. But we also want to press the idea that what's trying to be taught in that batch as well. So.
Okay. Jacob just put in the chat that the council has their event calendar. Where do you think I filled out this sheet from, Jacob?
Hey, so
I know that wasn't for you, Jeff.
Aaron, that adventure does not require you to do it with anybody beyond your own family.
Excellent.
Plan a hike, assemble a first aid kit, recite the outdoor code with your den or with family members, hike 3 miles.
That's the one.
You can do it by yourselves.
Any other adventures you got questions about?
I have one for you, Jeff.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Since we have these summertime pins coming up, are you wearing the awards every summer for the rank that you are for going to summer camp?
Yep.
If by chance summer camp is canceled this year, is there going to be an alternative way to earn that pin, because the requirement does require you to go to camp?
It requires you to go to a pack or a troop, a pack event or den event in each of the months of June, July, and August. So I don't know if virtual events for that. I don't know if the guidance covers the summertime awards. Does it?
Sure. We'd count a virtual event.
Sure. Plan some things that they can meaningfully participate in, not just sit and listen to Zoom while you're talking to them. But here's a fun one. I'm looking at it with my troop. Somebody posted, one of the things the kids want to do is an escape room. We can't do that, except there are now a bunch of free virtual escape rooms. I don't know how they work yet. I'm not sure that's going to be Cub Scout appropriate. For the older kids, that would be a lot of fun. I have a question. Everybody, we hear like this troop's doing this pack's doing that, and we're doing lots of wonderful stuff, but there's some things we can't do. How many Cub Scouts are worried about bored with this because they can't do the parts of the program that they want to do, as in run around with their friends, make a lot of noise?
I think your last couple of weeks has been pretty tough for them.
Yeah. And it may go on a while yet. I mean, my son's in troop 335. They're doing amazing stuff, meeting on Discord, and the boys are planning all that. But some of the boys, mine included, aren't into advancement, aren't into badges. And, they sort of hang out in their part of the meeting space and chat, but it's not real scouty. And it's just, we're just doing the best we can under the circumstances. So encourage them, tell them we'll all start up again.
Something I did find out too, this is a really good opportunity to be able to talk to the parents too, since they have to be online or the kids are doing their activity. You can talk to the parents. You might have your new leaders for next year already lined up.
Yep. We do troop meetings. We break them up into patrols, and the adults sit in the main room and talk, and it works out pretty well. Anybody got anything else? Questions, comments, any of that? All right, well, that's what we've got. Hope it was helpful to you. If you're in Wabash Valley, you should get, you get our regular roundtable emails. You'll get this list of uses. Oh wait, I did forget. I've got a second page today because it's so long. Again, this is the high level, pack level stuff. Den level, we'll talk about den planning for next month, the things that they need to do. Don't forget that Lions and Tigers are about getting their scouts and their parents involved. And once you've got your schedule, including your den sales, you need to support it with a budget. I will send out some samples for that. Basically, look at your plan, figure out what it's going to cost, and figure out how you want to fund that with popcorn and other sales. Once you've got a target for how much you need to raise, you run your fundraisers. We're going to talk about fundraisers in detail in August. And communicate the year and the den plans to your families, as well as the budget and the fundraising plan. Always keep them informed, especially when you change a plan or the budget. And if you want to since this year is really uncertain, you can build some options into it. If we manage to hit these targets, we'll do the event. And on the assumption that we're going to make it to summer camp, and they didn't really talk about Webelo's Adventure Camp, but if we have Scouts BSA Camp, Adventure Camp is after that. Here's my handy tips for making your summer camp experience better at the Cub Scout level. 1, bring a Sharpie. When you get the stack of t-shirts, write your kid's names, all the tags before you hand them out. That'll tell you who to give it back to when they find it lying around camp. Also put your pack number on so you can get it back when they leave it lying around some other part of camp. Camp goes smoothly. You got parents of the scouts in both age groups, because they'll have wolf and bear activities and Webelo's activities. If you can arrange to have parents that are in both, that have parents of wolves and bears and parents of Webelo's come along, everybody gets to spend time with their kid and you got people to walk them around. Don't forget to bring some skit and song ideas, because each unit puts on a skit or a song for their final campfire. The second night of camp is in your own campsite. Bring something to cook, s'mores, Dutch oven, something like that. Don't leave food out at Kerry Camp. I've had raccoons eating our second helping of s'mores, which are still on the picnic table while we were cooking the first helping. They are not shy. And if you can, arrange a pack swim test day. Any Indiana lifeguard, there's a form on the Scouts on the national site, which will be in the stuff I send you tomorrow. You can get your swim test done in advance. You bring the form to camp. You don't have to all stand in line at the pool. this saves you a lot of time. Now, if you want them all to go jump in the pool, it's a hot day, by all means, send them to the swim test. But you can save a lot of time that way, especially if you're a big unit. We had, 30 kids coming, and that took us, a long time at the pool. Any other questions or comments? No?
Did they mention what's up with day camp?
No, they didn't. But I'm assuming, because they're working on summer camp. If they can't have that, they may still be able to have day camp. But summer camp's the big one with all logistics, and it's the biggest event of the year. So I think they're putting all their time into that. We will get in about day camp.
I think the question came up because last time they were talking about not being able to have day camp at day camp.
I don't have answers to that.
Yeah, that they weren't going to be able to have day camp at day camp was established a while ago.
You mean at Kerry Camp?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a scheduling mistake. They have a site lined up for it. They're at one of the parks in town. Whether camp will happen at all, we don't know yet. Jacob or Lauren, do you have any information on that? Day camp?
I'd be happy to chime in a little bit. So we have plan A, B, C, and D, right? And plan A is day camp is normal, and plan B, C, and D are variations of that. There's no concrete answer right now. We have to go off of CDC regulations based off of timing. Right now, you can't have more than 25 people in an area. What's it going to look like in the middle of June when we start to, North Star's day camp is the second week of June. Peshua's day camp is the third week of June. And Wabash Valley's, I believe, is the last week of June. So we're basically putting together contingencies. A summer camp may be the big camping program of the year, but day camp is still getting its due diligence, and we are still planning like day camp is going to be executed as normal. And then as things change with, whatever's going on in various communities with COVID, because what's happening in Howard County is very different than what's happening in Tippecanoe County. Howard County has been historically with this far more strict than other counties, and far more strict than state regulations. So, we have to work with local authorities, the state CDC, and go off of what the governor says. So there's a lot in place. When we know for sure, you guys will know, but we are working on it.
Excellent.
So there's your ambiguous answer that doesn't answer your question.
We're trying. We hope it will be. We'll let you know when we know. I actually have another one that I thought of. They're talking about going back to BSA summer camp. Will it still be possible to have staff week? And that's no either.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah. Bring that up your next planning meeting. Don't mention my name. Thank you, folks. I'm here all night. All right.
I'll send a text message on it, see if I can't
right.
get some information. But it's probably the same as what was already said.
All right. We've been in roundtable for an hour and a half. We normally want to have a 1 hour roundtable. Thank you for coming, everybody. If there's no other questions, someplace on here is a button in the bottom right, leave room. You can all go back to the main room, or you can disconnect and go home. I'll stay here in case anybody's got more questions for a couple minutes.
I did post a link in the chat for monthly PAC meeting themes. It used to be something that BSA did all the time for us, but I haven't seen one for this upcoming year.
Yeah, they haven't put those in a couple years, actually. But yes, thank you.
One of the good lifesavers I noticed this year was if you're doing Scout Book, you want to go back to last year and see what the timeline looks like. And sometimes it helps you build up a schedule for the next year.
Yeah, you can look at your calendar and Scout Book from year to year, and it makes it really easy. I also keep an Excel spreadsheet of it as well.
You asked a question about staff week for summer camp. My two guys are on staff, and they've been doing stuff all along through Zoom and stuff.
My son is too. But, he's on shooting sports, and they've canceled all the training weekends. So they're going to have to do a lot of staff training, especially for the new staffers, that first week.
Yeah, they are.
Mm-hmm.
We usually get help from Purdue, too. Are we going to see any help from Purdue is a big question this year, too.
Hearing no other questions, thanks for coming, folks. I can go back to the main room, see if there's any business for me there. This meeting will time out another 8 minutes or so, but you're welcome to disconnect when you're ready.